Hello, all you professional wrestling fans. Welcome back to Squared Circle Speak, your home for any and everything professional wrestling. And today we have another championship history, and we're going back to WCW for one of the titles. Maybe people don't remember as fondly. Maybe people kind of forgot about it. I'm Ryan. With me, as always, is Nathan, and today we're talking the WCW World Television Championship. Now, this title originally started in 1974. We are not doing any of the NWA title because there's just too many people. We're going to go from when it officially became the WCW Television Championship, which was on January 7th, 1991, is when it officially became renamed the WCW World Television Championship. Up until that point, it was the NWA World Television title, the same championship, but we're just going to kind of skip forward in the history a little bit and start with the first WCW World Television Champion. If that makes sense. Because there's just 104 names on this list, and I was not going to about to name off 104 people. So we're just gonna start. So the first official WCW World Television Champion was Arn Anderson. He won it on Worldwide Wrestling on January 7th, 1991 by defeating the Z-Man.
The Z-Man was
Zink, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, it was Tom Zink.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yep, that happened.
Yeah.
How long did he hold it, Ryan?
He held it for 132 days.
That's not bad.
And then he dropped it to Bobby Eaton at Super Brawl 1 on May 19th, 1991. Bobby Eaton held it for a grand total of 15 days.
All right.
He lost it to Stunning Steve Austin on Worldwide Wrestling. On June 3rd, 1991, Steve Austin would hold that title for 329 days.
Nice.
Probably one of the longest reigns.
Absolutely.
He would drop it on April 27th, 1992 on Saturday night to young Barry Windham. I don't know if he was young this time. I don't think he was young.
He wasn't old yet.
Yeah. But Barry Windham, Saturday night, Atlanta, Georgia. Barry Windham would hold it for 26 days. He would then drop it right back to Steve Austin, who won it on May 23rd, 1992 on Worldwide in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This reign, Austin would hold it for 102 days. So Austin right now holding that title for a while.
Yeah, he's holding his belt down, man.
90, 91, and 92 was Austin. Steve Austin would then drop it to Ricky Steamboat, which was, if I can remember, was apparently a really, really good match at Clash of the Champions 20. September 2nd, 1992, Ricky Steamboat beat Austin. Steamboat would hold it for 27 days, where he would drop it to Scott Steiner.
Wow.
On Worldwide, Steiner would hold that belt officially for 1 day.
Oh, wow.
Because him and Rick left for the World Wrestling Federation.
Well.
So they gave him the belt and they immediately left.
Well, that's especially when they're a tag team and they gave one of them a singles belt. You think they would have convinced that guy to stay, but nope. So very interesting so far, Ryan. I did not know Scott Steiner held that belt.
I did not either. I saw that and completely freaked me out. I guess no one remembers it because it happened and then immediately was stripped of it. So
right.
I might have to check to find that match. Ricky Steamboat versus Scott Steiner sounds interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So then they had a tournament to determine the new television champion. That was won by Paul Orndorff on March 2nd, 1993 on Power Hour. He defeated Eric Watts in the tournament final. And guess who was booking WCW at this time? Yeah. What a shock. His dad, Bill Watts, was the booker.
Yeah. And he booked his son into the in one of the championship matches.
And so now, after Paul Orndorff won this title, WCW officially left NWA So now they're officially just World Championship Wrestling. They are no longer associated with the NWA. So
All right.
Paul Orndorff would hold that belt for 169 days before dropping it to Ricky Steamboat, who won it at Clash of the Champions 24 in Daytona Beach, Florida on August 18th, 1993. Steamboat would hold it for 32 days before dropping it to Lord Steven Regal at Fall Brawl on September 19th, 1993. Nathan, Lord Steven Regal would hold this belt for 225 days.
Nice.
Sounds good little reign for Steven Regal. He dropped it to Larry Zbyszko, who I did not know was still wrestling in 1994.
Look, I didn't know he held that belt either, so we're learning a lot here.
He won it on Saturday night, May 2nd, 1994, in Atlanta, Georgia. Zbyszko would hold it for 52 days before dropping it right back to Lord Steven Regal at Clash of the Champions 20. What's VII?
7.
So 27. So Lord Steven Regal won it on Clash of the Champions 27 on June 23rd, 1994. He would hold it for 87 days before dropping it to Johnny B. Bad, who was Mark Marrow, for those of you that don't know, at Fall Brawl. So Steven Regal won it at Fall Brawl 93, lost it back on Fall Brawl 94.
All right.
Kind of all over the television title picture there for about a full year. Johnny
That's
would hold it for 112 days. He would drop it to Arn Anderson, who I didn't know was still winning titles in 95. Arn Anderson held it for 161 days. Sure as hell don't remember that either.
Wow.
He would drop it to the Renegade.
Wait a minute. Arn Anderson's the one that lost to the Renegade?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Oh, wow.
But the Renegade won it at the Great American Bash, June 18, 1995. The Renegade would then hold it for 91 days. He would drop it to Diamond Dallas Page, September.
So, just for reference, the Renegade was basically WCW's Ultimate Warrior ripoff.
Yeah, if he came in because like Hulk Hogan said he had an ultimate surprise or something, and everyone thought it was going to be the Warrior, and then it was just this dude who was not in shape at all. And the only thing I can remember about the Renegade is he couldn't throw drop kicks, so he would like do 1 foot drop kicks.
Yeah,
not a good wrestler at all. It's sad he did end up like committing suicide. So like,
yeah.
It just I don't know why they attempted this. Anyway, Diamond Dallas Page would beat the Renegade at Fall Brawl 95. He would hold it for 42 days before dropping it to Johnny B. Bad on Halloween Havoc 95. He would hold it for 111 days before dropping it to Lex Luger at a live event in Baltimore, Maryland. The next day, Johnny B. Bad would take the title back. Lex Luger had a 1-day reign. That sounds like Lex Luger was not supposed to win.
Yeah.
And so they did an immediate title change the next day. So we're into March 96 on an episode of Saturday Night. Lex Luger would defeat Johnny B. Bad officially, I guess, to become television champion. He would hold it for 167 days before dropping it back to Lord Steven Regal.
All right.
On an episode of Saturday Night. And then we have our first Nitro. So now Nitros are coming around. We're into 97. This is where the title change hands on Nitro almost every fucking time now. So the first one was Prince Iakea defeating Lord Steven Regal, February 17th, 1997. He would hold it.
I did not know Prince Iakea
No.
was there in 97.
Well, I knew he was there, but I don't remember him holding the television title. The only thing I remember about Iakea was when he became the artist.
Right.
I don't remember anything about Prince Iakea holding the television title. That one, okay. He held it for 49 days. He would drop it on April 7th, 1997 on an episode of Nitro to the Ultimate Dragon. That's the Ultimate Dragon, I think's first title run with the title. He would hold it for 41 days before dropping it to Lord Steven Regal at Slamboree 97. We're going to have a lot of short title reigns here, Nathan, just to let you know.
Yeah, Steven Regal was basically the king of this belt.
He's held it 3 times. Yeah. I didn't know he was still. I guess he was there with Goldberg, but it just don't seem like Regal was still there in 97.
Yeah, he left in late 98.
What? I don't remember. I thought he was already gone by that point. So Steven Regal won it at Slamboree, held it for 65 days before dropping it back to the Ultimate Dragon on an episode of Nitro. Ultimo Dragon would have a 30-day reign before dropping it to Alex Wright at Clash of the Champions 35. Alex Wright would hold it for 32 days before dropping it to Disco Inferno, who we talked about earlier on our channel. Disco Inferno won it on an episode of Nitro. Where else would he have won it? I guess it was a television title, so it makes sense. Disco Inferno would hold it for 42 days before dropping it to Perry Saturn. Don't remember him holding that belt.
I do. I don't remember him beating Disco Inferno,
though. Perry Saturn would hold it for 35 days. He would drop it to Disco Inferno on an episode of Nitro. Disco Inferno would hold it for 21 days before dropping it to Booker T on an episode of Nitro. Booker T would hold it for 49 days. He would drop it to Rick Martel on an episode of Nitro. Now,
Do you remember Rick Martel holding that belt?
I do. The only reason I do is because he got hurt in this match. He was supposed to come back and hold the belt a lot longer than he did, and then in the rematch with Booker T, he blew out his knee, fractured his leg, and so that kind of ended his career. And that's the only reason I know that he held the title, is because it was like his last match.
Right.
So that match happened on Super Brawl 8, February 22nd, 1998. That was Booker T beating Rick Martel. So Rick Martel only had a 6-day reign. He was supposed to hold it a lot longer, but again, the injury kind of caused him to go back to Booker T. Then we have a string of live events here, Nathan. So Booker T had it. He dropped it to Chris Benoit, who then dropped it to Booker T, who then dropped it to Chris Benoit, who then dropped it to Booker T, all in a span of 4 days.
Well, what is this, the best of 7?
Was that for the television title? Well, these are all live events, so I don't know these.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this was before they started the best.
7 was for the U.S. title, wasn't it?
No, it was for the television title.
They may have been, but these are all live events, so I don't know. But they all happened April 30th, May 1st, May 2nd, May 3rd, May 4th. So I don't know. But they traded it back and forth, and then on May 4th, which was a Nitro in Indianapolis, Indiana, Fit Finlay beat Booker T. Finlay would hold it for 41 days. And then Booker T beat Finlay again. So Booker T is now on his 5th reign as television champion.
So I think he surpassed William Regal as the king of this belt.
Yeah. Booker T would win that belt back at the Great American Bash. He would hold it for 29 days. Now, this is where it gets a little confusing, because Stevie Ray became champion on Nitro in Las Vegas, Nevada. Stevie Ray claimed the title, saying he was given power of attorney by Booker T because Booker T was injured.
Right.
Stevie Ray's champion. I guess Booker T got injured at some point. Stevie Ray just got the title because Booker T said, hey, you can defend it on my behalf, I guess, is what happened there.
Yeah.
Booker T's reign was 29 days. Stevie Ray's reign was 28 days. Stevie Ray dropped it to Chris Jericho in Rapid City, South Dakota. On August 10th, 1998. We are nearing the end of the television.
So Chris Jericho, I did not know, beat Stevie Ray for that belt.
Yeah, I remember him holding it, and he had one of the longest reigns here for a long time. But I don't remember him beating Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
But apparently he did. He held it for 112 days. He would hold it till November 30th, 1998, where Conan would defeat Chris Jericho on an episode of Nitro. But he would only hold it for less than a month. because then Scott Steiner finally gets his second reign as a champion. I don't remember this either. Scott Steiner defeated Conan on December 28th, 1998 on Nitro. He would then hold the title for 76 days, which I don't remember at all. And then Booker T would get his title back for the 6th time. Not only was he a 5-time world champion, he was a 6-time television champion. Booker T beat Scott Steiner at Uncensored 99 in Louisville, Kentucky. He would hold it for 56 days before dropping it to Rick Steiner at Slamboree 99. Rick Steiner would hold it for 127 days. He would drop it to Chris Benoit on an episode of Nitro in 1999, September 13th, 1999. Benoit would hold it for 41 days before dropping it to Rick Steiner at Halloween Havoc 99. Rick Steiner would hold it for 28 days before dropping it to Scott Hall at Mayhem 99. And this was the win. He held it for 8 days. And then on an episode of Nitro, Scott Hall dropped the title in the trash. And then on an episode of Saturday Night, Jim Duggan found the title in the trash and started defending it. And then April 10th, 2000, the title was retired by Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff after they rebooted WCW and stripped all the championships, and it was never seen again.
Yeah, it was kind of a shame. And, so in that best of 7, I guess Booker T was the champion and he ended up retaining from Chris Benoit, I guess. I guess
I don't remember.
There were no Booker, other than those live events, there were no Booker T, Chris Benoit title changes. So
yeah, so I guess it was best of 7. Whoever won the series won the title, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it, but
I guess he retained.
Yeah, but the television title, like I said, it dates back to 1974. We had, guys like Greg Valentine, Ric Flair, Ivan Koloff, Roddy Piper, Dick Slater, Dusty Rhodes, all held that title. So it was a very prestigious title for a long time. And then it really got demoted pretty quickly. And then
I don't think so. I think there's still a lot of good names that held it.
No, there were a lot of good names, but the title, it just changed hands every month and a half.
Every belt did in WCW.
Well, that's very true.
And WWE at that point. The European title was the same way.
Yeah. So if you're looking at the longest reign from the WCW time, it would have been Steven Regal. No, yeah. Steve Austin had the longest reign at 329 days.
All right. And Booker T held it the most.
And Booker T from the WCW time would have been the most because he was a 6-time champion.
And the shortest reign was
all those one-day reigns.
Yeah, there was a bunch. There was surprisingly a lot of one-day
Chris
reigns.
Benoit, Booker T, Scott Steiner, Lex Luger.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So there were a lot of one-day reigns. So kind of not as crazy as I thought it was going to be. Looking back at this title picture, it was a pretty consistent title. It wasn't as convoluted as the world title or the other titles in WCW. So I don't remember. I thought for sure guys like Rey Mysterio and stuff held the television title too, but I guess
no.
It was the only one I remember. Ultimo Dragon, but I thought Ultimo Dragon fought I guess he defended it against them. But
he probably defended it against some cruiserweights.
I thought Dean Malenko held it though. I thought for sure Dean Malenko held this title.
Yeah, honestly, I did too. I'm really surprised Eddie Guerrero did not hold this belt.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought it was passed around by the cruiserweights for a while.
Eddie Guerrero was, he was wrestling for the U.S. title too, and
Conan.
So I thought for sure he would have held it, and I also thought Sting had at least one run with it, but I guess not.
I don't even think he held it back when it was NWA.
Yeah,
Sting never held it ever, which is
that's surprising. And Ric Flair, Ric Flair did when it was NWA, but
it was back in the 70s he held it.
but yeah, that was a surprising one, and I thought Goldberg beat Jericho for the TV title, but I guess he beat him. I could have swore he beat Jericho for the TV title. But
I guess it was just a non-title match.
Because I thought he had the TV title when he fought
He had the U.S. title.
the U.S. title when he fought Hogan.
Yeah, he had the U.S. title, which he beat Raven for. I remember that. So yeah, that title history is, then we had a couple times towards the end where it got thrown in the trash, is pretty shitty, and then the title when Booker T got injured and Stevie Ray took over, so a little bit convoluted. But other than that, pretty good title history. You only got vacated like once in that entire time we talked, so
It's pretty surprising right there.
got vacated once in the early '90s and then in 2000.
That may be a stat for the ages right there. That's a
I mean, it has. I'm looking back, and it really hasn't even been vacated that often, which is insane. So yeah, the NWA or the WCW World Television Title, one of the titles I think is forgotten about when people think about the title history of WCW. I think a lot of people forget that the television title is even a title. So we wanted to bring some light, bring a little spotlight on the television championship.
It's one of my favorite belts for some reason. I never know why, but it was
I
always
always look back on it too, and I loved it. I done the same way. I don't know why. It was just one of those titles where it's like, I guess I just like the design of it. I don't know, even though it's pretty basic design, but yeah. So I think that's gonna wrap this episode up. If you enjoyed this, I'm gonna let you finish. Actually, I want you to do that. I'll let you do the outro.
good. If you like this title history, stay tuned for more title histories. Hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our title histories. And tickle the notification bell because sometimes YouTube's weird, and even if you subscribe, it doesn't let you know that we got a new title history episode out. So make sure you do that, and we'll see you on the next
one. And leave a comment for what title history we should do next. All right, bye.